Imagine a church that started in a high school gym, exploding into a multi-million-dollar empire with over 13,000 members. A place where faith was supposed to flourish, but instead became a cautionary tale of power, greed, and spiritual abuse. This is the story of Harvest Bible Chapel and its charismatic yet controversial founder, James MacDonald. It all began in 1988. MacDonald, with a vision for a new kind of church, planted Harvest Bible Chapel in Rolling Meadows, Illinois. His preaching was bold, unapologetic, and it resonated with thousands. People flocked to hear his messages, drawn by his dynamic personality and the promise of authentic, Bible-based teaching. The church grew at an astonishing rate. From a small gathering, it swelled into a megachurch, launching satellite campuses across Chicagoland and even internationally. They started a Christian school, a music ministry called Vertical Worship, and a popular radio program, Walk in the Word, that broadcast MacDonald's sermons to a global audience. On the surface, it was a massive success story, a testament to what faith and a powerful vision could achieve. The church's motto was, "The authority of God's Word without apology." It was a powerful statement that attracted people tired of what they saw as watered-down Christianity. MacDonald was the central figure, a spiritual celebrity whose word was treated as gospel. The church's structure was built around him, granting him immense authority. Early on, this seemed to work. The church was planting new congregations, sending missionaries, and producing chart-topping worship music. Members felt they were part of something significant, a movement that was changing the world. They gave generously, funding the rapid expansion and MacDonald's ambitious projects. Harvest felt like more than a church. It was a brand, and James MacDonald was its star CEO. But behind the curtain of this thriving ministry, a darker story was unfolding. Cracks began to appear. Stories started to leak out from former staff and members about a culture of fear and intimidation. MacDonald was described not as a humble shepherd, but as a volatile leader with a fiery temper. He allegedly created an environment where dissent was not tolerated. Those who questioned his decisions or leadership style were often publicly shamed, ostracized, or fired. This culture was enforced by a hand-picked elder board that seemed more loyal to MacDonald than to the congregation they were supposed to serve. Financial transparency was another major issue. The church's finances were shrouded in secrecy. While members were encouraged to tithe sacrificially, details about how that money was being spent, especially on MacDonald's salary and lifestyle, were kept under wraps. The first major public scandal broke in 2012. A group of former elders published a blog detailing their concerns about financial mismanagement and MacDonald's authoritarian leadership. They raised questions about a multi-million-dollar budget, a lack of accountability, and a pattern of spiritually abusive behavior. The church leadership, however, dismissed these claims as attacks from disgruntled individuals. They even filed a lawsuit against the bloggers and their wives, a move that shocked many and was seen as an attempt to silence critics rather than address the legitimate concerns being raised. The lawsuit was eventually dropped, but the damage was done. It planted a seed of doubt in the minds of many and signaled that something was seriously wrong at Harvest. Despite the controversy, MacDonald and Harvest continued to project an image of strength, but the pressure was mounting. In 2018, Chicago area shock jock Mancal Muller, who had once been a friend and member of the church, went public with his own damning accusations. He described a culture of deception and financial impropriety, accusing MacDonald of living a lavish lifestyle funded by church donations. This brought renewed media attention to Harvest, and soon, investigative journalist Julie Roys began publishing a series of explosive articles for World magazine. Roys uncovered a secret, unaudited account, known as the Black Box, which MacDonald allegedly used for personal expenses, including luxury vacations and expensive gifts. She documented a history of financial misconduct and a pattern of bullying and manipulation that had left a trail of wounded people. The breaking point came in early 2019. Unbeknownst to MacDonald, his own voice would be his downfall. A hot mic recording was leaked, capturing MacDonald making crude and disparaging remarks about his critics, including Christianity Today's editor and Julie Roys. He was even heard discussing planting illicit materials on a critic's computer. The contents of the recording were shocking and indefensible. It was the final straw. The curtain was pulled back completely, revealing a man starkly different from the public persona he had cultivated for decades. Within hours of the recording being aired on the radio, the elders of Harvest Bible Chapel, who had defended him for so long, had no choice. They announced James MacDonald's termination, citing conduct that was harmful and contrary to the church's teaching. The fallout was immediate and catastrophic. The megachurch was in freefall. Attendance plummeted as thousands of members left, feeling betrayed and disillusioned. Donations dried up, plunging the church into a severe financial crisis. They were forced to lay off staff, sell off properties, and close several of their satellite campuses. The empire that took 30 years to build crumbled in a matter of months. The new leadership was left to pick up the pieces, facing a mountain of debt and a congregation shattered by grief and mistrust. They issued public apologies, acknowledging the sinful patterns of leadership and the immeasurable damage caused by MacDonald's actions and the elders' failure to hold him accountable. The story of Harvest Bible Chapel serves as a powerful and sobering lesson for the modern church. It's a cautionary tale about the dangers of celebrity pastor culture, where one person is elevated to a status beyond reproach. It highlights the critical importance of financial transparency and independent oversight. When a leader's power goes unchecked and when accountability structures fail, the potential for abuse, financial, spiritual, and emotional, is immense. The focus can shift from serving God and the congregation to protecting the institution and its leader's reputation. The gospel of grace can be replaced by a culture of fear, and the mission of the church can be hijacked by personal ambition and greed. So where does this leave us? The story of Harvest isn't just about one church or one fallen pastor. It's a mirror held up to the broader evangelical world, forcing a difficult conversation about leadership, power, and accountability. For those hurt by Harvest and similar situations, the road to healing is long. Trust in spiritual leaders and institutions is shattered, and faith itself can be deeply shaken. But it's also a reminder that the church is not a building or a brand. It's a community of fallible people. The true foundation is not a charismatic leader, but the principles of humility, service, and love. The rise and fall of Harvest Bible Chapel is a stark reminder that when these principles are abandoned, even the most impressive ministry can collapse under the weight of its own hypocrisy. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into stories that matter. And if you or someone you know has been affected by spiritual abuse, please know that you are not alone and help is available. There are resources and support networks ready to listen. We'll leave some links in the description below. See you next time.